Pahlevani and zoorkhaneh rituals is the name inscribed by UNESCO for varzesh-e Pahlevani or varzesh-e bastany, a traditional system of athletics originally used to train warriors in Iran and adjacent lands. Outside Iran, zoorkhanehs can be found in Azerbaijan, and they were introduced into Iraq in the mid-19th century, where they seem to have existed until the 1980s. It combines martial arts, calisthenics, strength training and music, recognized by UNESCO as among the world's longest-running forms of such training. It fuses elements of pre-Islamic Persian culture with the spirituality of Shia Islam and Sufism, practiced in a domed structure called the zoorkhaneh. Training sessions consist mainly of ritual gymnastic movements and climax with the core of combat practice, a form of submission grappling called varzesh-e pahlavani. History. Traditional Iranian wrestling dates back to ancient Persia and Parthia and was said to have been practiced by Rustam, mythological hero of the Shahnameh epic, while folk styles were practiced for sport by every ethnic group in various provinces. Grappling for combat was considered the particular specialty of the zoorkhaneh. The original purpose of these institutions was to train men as warriors and instill them with a sense of national pride in anticipation for the coming battles. The Mithraic design and rituals of these academies bear testament to its Parthian origin. The zoorkhaneh system of training is what is now known as varzesh-e bastany, and its particular form of wrestling was called varzesh-e pahlavani, after the Parthian word Pahlevani meaning hero. When the Arabs invaded Persia around 637 CE, the zoorkhanehs served as secret meeting places where knights would train and keep alive a spirit of solidarity and patriotism. Invaders repeatedly targeted the houses of strength to discourage rebels, but new ones would always be organized in a different location. Following the spread of Shia Islam, and particularly after the development of Sufism in the 8th century, the varzesh-e Pahlevani absorbed philosophical and spiritual components from it. Religious hymns were incorporated into training, and the first Shiite Imam Ali was adopted as the zoorkhaneh patron. The varzesh-e bastany was particularly popular in the 19th century, during the reign of the Qajar king Nasser al-Din Shah. Every 21st of March on Nowruz, competitions would be held in the Shah's court, and the Shah himself would present the champion with an armlet. The sport declined following the rise of the Pahlavi dynasty in the 1920s and the subsequent modernization campaigns of Reza Shah, who saw the sport as a relic of Qajarite ritual. Reza Shah's son Muhammad Reza Pahlavi took a different approach, emphasizing Iran's ancient Persian roots as an alternative to the heavily Islam-based identity of less developed nations in the Middle East. He attempted to revive the tradition and practiced it himself, and during his reign, the last national competitions were held. Following the Iranian Revolution of 1979, the tradition lost some of its popularity as the new regime discouraged anything tied to pre-Islamic paganism, which included the Gnostic and Mithraic chants and rituals of the zoorkhaneh. This did not last, however, as the Islamic Republic eventually promoted varzesh-e bastany as a symbol of Iranian pride and culture. Today, varzesh-e Pahlevani is touted as the reason why Iranians are regular winners at international wrestling and weightlifting events. The matter of attracting younger members has been a major discourse for some time. Suggestions have included making practice more upbeat and distributing duties among the younger members instead of adhering strictly to seniority. The IZSF was established in response to this, and it is currently the world governing body for all zoorkhaneh. In recent years, the sport appears to be gaining popularity in the countries adjacent to Iran, including Iraq and Afghanistan. The zoorkhaneh, the traditional gymnasium in which varzesh-e bastany is practiced, is known as the zoorkhaneh, literally the house of strength. These gyms are covered structures with a single opening in the ceiling, with a sunken 1-meter-deep octagonal or circular pit in the center. Around the gourd is a section for the audience, one for the musicians, and one for the athletes. A portrait of Ali is hung on the wall of every zoorkhaneh. An aspiring member may be a male from any social class or religion, but they must first spend at least a month watching from the audience before they can join. Traditionally, the zoorkhanehs demanded no payment from their athletes, and depended instead on public donations. In return, the zoorkhaneh provided community services and protection. One example is the casting of flowers ceremony, in which athletes held calisthenics matches and other displays of strength to raise funds for the needy. There are today 500 zoorkhaneh in Iran, and each has strong ties to the local community. Zoorkhanehs have commonly had strong political affiliations, either advocating or denouncing particular governments. This type of sports diplomacy is said to be a natural extension of the patriotic nature of zoorkhaneh training, dating back to the days when Pahlevans served in the king's court. Rituals and practice. Bastany rituals mimic the practices and traditions of Sufi orders, as evidenced by terminology like murshid or morshed, peshkesvat, taj and faqr. The ethics involved are also similar to Sufi ideals, emphasizing purity of heart. Every session begins with pious praise to the Prophet Muhammad and his family. The morshed dictates the pace by beating a goblet drum while reciting Gnostic poems and stories from Persian mythology. As the most important member of the zoorkhaneh, the morshed leads prayer sessions and spurs the athletes on with poems in praise of Shia Imams and excerpts from the Shahnameh. The singing itself once served as a form of oral education, passing down social knowledge, moral codes and religious teachings to the warriors in training. The main portion of a varzesh-e bastany session is dedicated to weight training and calisthenics, notably using a pair of wooden clubs, metal shields, and bow-shaped iron weights. This is followed by exercises like Sufi whirling and juggling, all of which are intended to build strength. The athletes move in unison to the drumbeats of the morshed. Every session ends with bouts of pahlavani. Ancient Zoroastrians believed that the development of physical and mental strength could be used to enhance spirituality, thus, aside from once preparing warriors for battle. This training is supposed to promote kindness and humility through the cultivation of outer strength. Under the supervision of a peshkesvat, students are instructed in traditional ethics and chivalry. Participants are expected to be pure, truthful, good-tempered and only then strong in body. Acquiring the rank of Pahlavan requires mastery of the physical skills, observance of religious principles, and passing the moral stages of Gnosticism. The principles of unpretentiousness are exemplified by a verse recited at many meetings. Learn modesty, if you desire knowledge. A highland would never be irrigated by a river. International Zoorkhaneh Sport Federation. The International Zoorkhaneh Sport Federation was established on October 10, 2004 to promote varzesh-e pahlavani on a global level. The IZSF aims to regulate and standardize rules for varzesh-e pahlavani and organize international festivals and competitions. In 2010 it started to regulate and organize para-zoorkhaneh festivals for disabled athletes. 72 countries are currently members of the IZSF. The first varzesh-e pahlavani championship, Tajikistan President Cup 08-9 September 2005. The first international zoorkhaneh sports festival of the cities of the world. Mashhad, Iran, 11 to 16 November 2005. The first zoorkhaneh sport tournament of Asian universities students in Shomal University in Amol, Iran, the 15th of November 2006. The first Asian zoorkhaneh sports festival in Tehran, Iran, 18 to 24 November 2006. The first European zoorkhaneh Sports Festival in Saarbrücken, Germany, 26 to 31 March 2007. The second International zoorkhaneh Sports Tournament in Kish Island, Iran, 16 to 20 February 2008. The second Asian zoorkhaneh Sports Championship in Kathmandu, Nepal, 22 to 27 July 2008. The first zoorkhaneh Sports World Championship during the 4th Busan TIFISA Sport for All Games, South Korea, the 26th of September, the 2nd of October 2008. The first zoorkhaneh Sports World Cup, Baku, Azerbaijan, 13 to 17 March 2009. The first International zoorkhaneh Sports Tournament, Dushanbe, Tajikistan, 12 to 16 May 2009. The second European zoorkhaneh Sports Championship, Frankfurt, Germany, 13 to 17 December 2009. The first International zoorkhaneh Sports Tournament, Dushanbe, Tajikistan, 10 to 13 July 2010. The second zoorkhaneh Sports World Cup, Konya, Turkey, 20 to 25 October 2010. The first Junior European zoorkhaneh Sports Championship, Minsk, Belarus, 25 to 29 November 2010. The first Junior Asian zoorkhaneh Sports Championship, Dushanbe, Tajikistan, 4 to 7 December 2010. The first Asian Para-zoorkhaneh Sports Championship, Dushanbe, Tajikistan, the 8th of December 2010. The third Asian zoorkhaneh Sports Championship in Dhaka, Bangladesh, September 2012. The third European zoorkhaneh Sports Championship during the TIFISA Sport for All Games, Palanga, Lithuania, July 2012. The fourth Asian zoorkhaneh Sports Championship in Kathmandu, Nepal, September 2013. Ranks and grades. Further information. Abbasi, Mehdi, Taraki Koshti Gharid, Iran, Tehran, Bazai, Hossein Pata, Taraki varzesh-e Bastany, Tehran. Documentary video of zoorkhaneh training. Google video on zoorkhaneh. Louis Gendyke, D.H. 2006. Zoorkhaneh, Ancient Martial Art of Iran, Boulder, U.S. PDF reports on zoorkhaneh.com.